going to be all about my current drugstore favorites. I feel like the drugstore has really been coming through lately as far as products. They're definitely coming out with newer products and just catering to the beauty market a lot more. And they're definitely bringing through some products that are comparable to higher end products as far as primers, contour kits, and all that stuff. So it's really exciting. I'm really excited for more of the drugstore releases later this year and to see what they bring up for summer. The products I'm going to show you today are things that I have been gravitating to every time I do my makeup. So these are some of my go-to products and things that have just been tried and true and that I've repurchased. So if you want to know my current drugstore favorites, then let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first thing I'm going to get into is some primer type of products. I haven't had the best experience with primers from the drugstore. I've tried a couple and they've made me break out, or they really haven't helped my makeup stay on. The two products I'm going to talk about are just holy grail products for me at the moment. So the first thing is everybody's current favorite, the Nivea Post Shave Balm in Sensitive. This has glycerin in it, like Nikki Tutorials has said. It really does make your makeup last all day, and you can feel the tackiness of it as soon as you start patting it in, working into your skin. So that is just creating the perfect tacky surface to just help your makeup stick to your face. I definitely recommend this for an all-over primer, but it doesn't minimize your pores or anything like that. You will have to use a pore minimizing primer with this if you do suffer from like it's a freaking disease. I would recommend pairing a pore minimizing primer with this if you do have larger pores. But this is a great all over the face primer. It's as good as everyone says it is. So the next primer product I want to talk about is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. So this has a really silicone-y feel, and once you kind of spackle it into your pores, I guess you could say, it really does give you a smooth surface to place your makeup on. My only complaint with this is that sometimes when I pull it out, you can't see it because it's clear, sometimes when I place it on my skin, I really have to warm it up a little bit and really pat it in. If not, it starts to roll up into little balls when I go over it with my foundation. It doesn't do it all the time. It does it sometimes, and you'll kind of see it coming out in little balls from the little tip on the front, but it doesn't do it all the time. Like I said, you can usually just squeeze that portion out and then start with fresher product out of the tube. Just make sure that you're kind of warming it up and then always patting it in when it comes to pore filling or pore minimizing primers. So this is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. The next primer product I want to talk about is actually the NYX Born to Glow Illuminating Primer. I believe this came out later last year or early this year. I think it came out this year. This is just a illuminating primer, and it gives you almost the same look as the L'Oreal Lumi Primer, Magic Lumi Primer. Super white, it's just a pearly finish. So it's going to give your skin a more glowing look. And I also feel when I'm super dry that this helps with moisturizing my skin, because it doesn't feel as thick as like silicone primers. It feels more like a glowing type of moisturizer, if that makes any sense. That it gives you a nice little sheen, and it definitely makes me feel like my skin is looking a little bit healthier when I put it on. These two together go really well, and it doesn't over moisturize my skin, which I really like. So that is the NYX Born to Glow Illuminating Primer. So moving on to foundation, I have only one current favorite drugstore foundation. I was using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Why was that so hard to say? I was using that foundation for a hot minute. It was kind of feeling a little too cakey for my skin and a little too dry during the winter time. So I had heard somebody mention this on their YouTube video, that it was comparable to the Makeup Forever foundation as far as finishes go. I think this has a better coverage than the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. Consistency, yeah, maybe, but I still think the Ultra HD foundation gives you a softer finish versus this one. This isn't going to give you a super matte finish like the L'Oreal one, which I like, but it's going to give you almost like a satin finish, and it is still going to make your skin look great because it's not going to be so matte that it's kind of settling and making you look dry or older. So I really like this. I have purchased, I would say, 3 bottles now, just in different shades. I wear this a lot for an everyday foundation when I'm going to go to work because it gives me a really good coverage, but it doesn't make me look cakey. So this is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Foundation. Okay, so the next product I want to talk about is the Rimmel London Stay Matte Long Lasting Press Powder. So I keep this in my purse all the time. I don't finish my makeup a lot of times with it just because sometimes I don't like to put matte powders underneath my eyes, but when I know I'm going to have a long day of wearing makeup and I know I'm feeling a little oily that morning, I will concentrate it just just right here, oils start to break through throughout the day, and right here obviously, and then I'll concentrate it in this area and especially around my chin. I don't put it close to the under eye just because I don't want it to accentuate any fine lines, especially because my under eyes tend to be very dry, so I keep this away from there. I'll do just a simple loose powder under there, not this. I will keep this in my purse just to help when I am feeling kind of shiny, and I use it with a just little puff. And the reason I started using it with a puff instead of a brush is because a lot of times when I'm dipping my brush in here and I'm kind of sweeping it on my face, I feel like it's really moving product and then it's not really applying it evenly, so some of the powder will kind of attach to more oily areas and just look super cakey. So most of the time I will blot my face and then I will just kind of press the puff in here and just kind of pat and concentrate on the areas where I'm super oily. And that way I'm not kind of like mattifying over any places that I've put my highlighter on or anything like that. And using it with a puff just kind of helps get into the areas around your nose, which is where I tend to get oily, and just kind of dab the smaller areas versus just sweeping it all over my face and kind of dulling down any bronzer or any blush I have on. So this is the Stay Matte. I have mine in Nude Beige. It's a pretty neutral color. I think they have a pretty good range of these, but I love this. I keep this in my purse, and I would definitely recommend using it with a puff over a brush. Okay, so next I'm gonna move into just one contouring product. So I got the NYX Cream Contour Palette. I only like the contouring shade. I've said it in a couple of videos, so that's why I didn't include it in this, because for me, it doesn't feel like it's a product worth purchasing, like repurchasing, and these are all products I would definitely repurchase. So the only contour product I am going to rave about is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Highlight and Contouring Palette. So this reminds me of the big one that Marc Jacobs put out because it's just 2 shades. I don't own the Marc Jacobs one, but I heard a lot of people love that one. I personally love this one. I've swatched the Marc Jacobs one a couple times in the store. I just wasn't really feeling the colors, and it was kind of a lot of product, and I did feel like I wouldn't get great use out of just 2 shades, considering the shades might not be a great match for me. That's my thought on that. But anyway, I wanted to try this out because a lot of people were saying that the powders in this just felt really nice, really finely milled, and that the color payoff was great. So this is more of a warm contouring shade, and for me, I've been really into more of a warm contouring shade just because I will kind of gradiate the top of my contour with an ashier shade from either one of my NYX Pro singles or the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, which has a lot of really good ashy shades. I've been getting a lot of use out of this as far as contouring goes. It kind of gives me a good bronze as well, but it still gives me some sort of definition. It is what I'm wearing today. I really, really love it. The yellow shade is a bit too yellow for me at times. It's a bit too bright, but I will kind of concentrate it in here lightly to kind of brighten up my face, and I will clean up my contour with it at times. I don't use it heavily because, like I said, right now it's a little too yellow because I'm a little bit too fair, so I will probably get more use out of it during the summertime. Let me just show you what they look like. Those are the shades there, and this is in the color Caramel Toffee, and I think they have 2 other shades as well. So the cool thing about this is that the color is buildable, so you can either go in light. I would recommend going in lightly with this at first because it is buildable, and you don't want to go in heavy or too harshly at first, especially with the warm contour shade, because you don't want it to get out of hand. But the yellow shade will help you clean it up on the bottom if you do. I would highly recommend this. This is the Wet n Wild Contour Palette, and I think it was like $5. And this is in the shade Caramel Toffee. So the next product I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild Color Icon, and these are reformulated blushes, and I have mine in the color Mellow Wine. I don't know what about this color I was like really gravitated towards, but it just reminded me of like a muted melon color, and it is super unique, and I don't have anything like it, so I was really excited to try it. Color payoff on these is great. I like the new formulation. The ones that they had before were way too dusty, and then once the dust settled, there was no product on your face. Like, the color payoff just was not there at all. It was too dusty, and the color would just dust off. So this one I've really been loving. The color is really gorgeous. This is the color swatched on the back of my hand. I can't figure out what color to call this. I do think it is like a muted melon color, but I also think it's like a bit terracotta-y because it does feel on the warmer side, but it still gives you a semi-dusty pink hue, which is great. I would definitely give these a try. These are really gorgeous. I want to pick up a couple more because I really like the color payoff. So this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon in Mellow Wine. So the next product I want to talk about is probably the only drugstore palette I have really liked. And this is the NYX The Go-To palette, and this one is in Wanderlust. So I think this is super cool because you get a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter, and then these 6 eyeshadows here. I've gotten a lot of use out of these eyeshadows and this palette. I have taken this palette with me when I travel. I do take a blush along because I'm not the biggest fan of the center blush, but I do like the bronzer, and the highlight is really gorgeous. The pigmentation and blendability of the eyeshadows is really, really nice. They're a bit dusty, but they blend so well, and you don't lose any of the pigmentation when you're blending it out. So it really allows for you to get a couple looks out of this. It's a pretty well-rounded palette as far as what you're getting. This was, I think, 17 bucks. But if you think about it, you're getting a bronzer, a blush, a highlight, and 6 eyeshadows. And like I said, the eyeshadows are great, super creamy, they blend well, and they have great pigmentation. So this is the NYX The Go-To palette in Wanderlust. So the next palette I want to talk about, I'm super excited about just because I've really been loving it, and I feel like I haven't really been hearing a lot of people talk about it, and I'm not sure why, because I think it's freaking fantastic. So if not a lot of people are talking about it, I guess it doesn't make a difference to me because I love it. Anyway, it is the NYX Strawberry Genius palette. As soon as I saw somebody post about this on the NYX page, I was super excited. So you get 3 large highlighting shades and then 4 smaller highlighting shades. The top highlighting shades are a little bit more colorful, and I actually really love that. This lavender one is super brightening and really, really gorgeous. And this yellow gold one is going to be so amazing when I have a great tan. But these colors up here are really amazing as well. They all have great pigmentation. I will say that I prefer to use most of these wet over dry, but they are really, really gorgeous, super pigmented, and they give you a nice highlight. And having all these colors, it really allows you to mix shades. If you are either fair or have a deeper skin tone, I think this is going to work for everybody. All in all, I think this is a super unique palette. I don't see a lot of companies coming out with just a wide array of colors. The only recent one that I've seen is obviously the Gleam Glow kits, I believe from Anastasia Beverly Hills. She has 4 shades in one palette, and I think that's amazing. But I think these colors are unique as far as highlighting palette goes, and I think it's definitely worth it. You get a lot of product and you get a good array of colors, which is super important when you have a highlighter, just because every color is not going to fit everyone. So these are some of the shades here. This is the gold one, the lavender one, the more light champagne-y one, and then the center more kind of rosy one. And they're really gorgeous. I definitely recommend this palette if you are a highlighting freak, which I'm pretty sure everybody is at this point. So this is the NYX Strobe Genius. Okay, so last but not least, we're going to go into lip products, and then that will wrap up my current drugstore favorites. So I'm going to go into lip liners, and my current 2 favorite lip liners from the drugstore is the Rimmel Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner, and this one is in Enchantment. So the reason I really love this is because of the unique shape of the lip liner. It allows you really to just kind of round out your top lip and really get in that area where your Cupid's bow is. And these are super creamy since it is a retractable. And these are super creamy just because it isn't a wooden pencil liner. It really gives you amazing color payoff, and it glides on so well. And I really love this color here. So this is the color here. It's like a pinky purple. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this lip liner before, but I really like it. Super creamy and really good drugstore lip pencil. So this is the Rimmel London Enchantment. So the next lip pencil I'm going to talk about is the LA Girl lip liner, and this one is in the color Spice. It is like a super gorgeous like burnt orange color, and I think this is a gorgeous like all over the lip color you could wear on its own, but I really love this under ColourPop's Taurus by Kathleen Lights. So I really have been loving this lip pencil under the ColourPop Lippy Stick Taurus made by Kathleen Lights. I think it is so complimentary to it, and it is such a warm like orangey color. It is so gorgeous, and this is seriously one of like probably my all-time favorite lip pencils. I don't have anything like it Color's super unique, and they are obviously super affordable. So this is LA Girl Spice. So the next couple products I want to talk about are more lip products, obviously. So I'm going to start with NYX, and this is Budapest, and this is one of their newer soft matte lip creams that came out. They came out with, I want to say, like 10 or more colors. So I picked this one up, and I really, really love it. It's such a complimentary color to my skin tone. It is what I'm wearing now. I have this one all over my lip, and then this one on top of it. Super gorgeous. And of course the NYX soft matte lip creams, I like the way that they sit on my lips. They're not too dry, but they do give you a nice matte finish. So that is the color there. It is just like a deep, like, I guess it's like a deep purplish mauve. Super, super pretty. So the next lip color I want to talk about is the Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid. So when I first got this, I instantly regretted buying it because it wasn't matte like it says. But when you put it on your lips, it gives you kind of a satin finish. However, it never really dries. So one thing that I've kind of done to combat that a little bit is just add a translucent powder over it. And I feel like it kind of sets it, because if you just leave it there, it kind of moves a little bit and it just feels a little wet. So I like this color as an everyday nude just because it is, I don't have a lot of nudes that I think are complementary to my skin, and this is definitely one of them. I'm not sure if it would be nude on all skin tones, but on me it is definitely a nude, and it is a more pinky nude. It's a super nice everyday color for neutral makeup or for when you're not wanting to wear a lot of makeup. The finish on these is obviously, like I said, not matte. It does last quite a bit, but it doesn't last as long as I would like it to. The NYX one definitely lasts longer. If you're looking for something that's going to last all day, this is not going to be it, but it is a great everyday color for work, for school, anything like that, and it is a nice neutral nude. So this is Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid, and this one is in Nude Thrill. That concludes my video of my current drugstore favorites. Let me know what your current drugstore favorites are. I feel like I need more drugstore eyeshadow palettes. Like I said, I haven't found anything that is really great or that I have been raving about. I know there's a lot of stuff coming out, so I think I'm going to try to pick some up. But let me know anything that you have really loved that is tried and true as far as eyeshadow palettes go. And don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. I did a review on some of the products that I got in my Ipsy bag on my Snapchat the other day, so definitely follow me so that you can stay up to date on when I'm uploading videos. I definitely talk about products that I've been loving on there, just because I can't film every single product that I like or every single thing that I'm doing every day. I like to get on Snapchat and kind of talk to you guys and let you know what I've been loving, what's been working for me, and things like that. So go ahead and follow me on Snapchat, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out, please, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
I'm gonna call it healthy tongue.
You're gonna call it what?
Healthy tongue.
Healthy tongue. This is actually the color of a giraffe's tongue. The highly debated color of the giraffe's tongue. Ah!
Do a bite. Go potty.
Okay, I'm recording, so pipe it down, or you're gonna be going potty.